All right, so in this video, I'm gonna talk about 4 painters on YouTube that you might not know about that you should know about. All right, welcome to Paint Talk, the weekly show where I sit, have a cup of coffee, and just kind of talk about oil painting. If you're new to the channel, then welcome to Paint Coach. My name is Chris Fornatero, and I'm here to help simplify oil painting so that you can get better faster. All right, so I've been wanting to make a video like this for a while because I'm always perusing YouTube, and I like it when I come across painters that I like, and I feel like I can get inspiration and information from, and I just like being a fan of other painters. I like looking at other paintings and enjoying them, and I love it when good painters come on to YouTube and share what they do. So I thought it'd be good to make a video of some painters that I like that aren't, you know, the major big popular ones that you probably already know about. And I'll have links to the YouTube channels of all the painters I talk about in this video in the description below. And the first one I'm going to talk about is Mark Delas. And the first one I'm going to get into is Mark Delasio. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Now this guy is about as high a level of a landscape painter as you can get. I've been following him for a long time on Instagram, and he does a lot of plein air painting. He does a lot of really cool, like giant, big plein air paintings, but he's just a very advanced level. So like any information that he gives out is just gold in my opinion. And recently he's actually been making more YouTube videos, which is exciting. I hope that he continues to make more. Recently made a very, very in-depth video on how to photograph your work. And when I say in-depth, I mean extremely in-depth. So like anything you want to know about photographing your work professionally, that video will answer it. And he also has videos on portrait painting. He gets into that. He gets into materials. He gets into like how he makes his own materials. I know he makes his own plein air panels. He talks about that. He'll get really into equipment. He has a video on, you know, the gear he uses to plein air paint. Some of his videos are filmed during his workshops, which I like when people do that because you'll get questions from the people that are actually there, and a lot of times it's the same questions that you have. I feel like when demonstrations are done in that workshop setting, more questions are answered because, you know, as a painter and as an instructor myself, like while you're painting, it's hard to think of questions or to narrate every single thing that you're doing. So it helps to have a group of people there to ask kind of the obvious questions and then get the answers. All right, the next painter is Michael Chamberlain. His YouTube channel is Chamberlain Paints. He does a lot of plein air videos, which I have a lot of respect for because one, I know it's very hard to plein air paint. It's also very hard to film yourself painting. Therefore, it's very, very, very difficult to film yourself plein air painting. I feel like he does a good job of it. While he's outside like painting, he'll stop and get the camera and talk about certain sections of his painting while he's doing it, which I think is really helpful. He's just really good at communicating his process and what he learns from each painting. You know, he'll go out and do a painting, and then he'll even come back and talk about the painting and things that he liked and didn't like, which is really helpful to hear. He'll also go out and paint with other painters, so you'll get to see their paintings as well. And recently he posted like a full in real time painting video, which is always cool to see, you know, the full process uncut like that. He also seems to post often, so you can always count on there to be new content. A large majority of his videos are plein air. So if that's something you're looking to do or looking to get into, like his channel is definitely a must. All right, next painter is Ian Roberts. His channel is really interesting because I feel like a majority of his videos focus on composition, which is awesome. Like I don't know many YouTube channels that focus on that, and it's so important. And just as somebody who's struggled with that for a long time and struggled on getting information on it, it's really cool to see somebody focusing in on that and giving really good information. His videos are really great. They're really compact, they're short, but they deliver good, valuable information. Each video seems to have one specific thing it's trying to teach, and I feel like they all do a good job at teaching that. He also recently did a video of him doing a plein air painting, which again, I have a lot of respect for. It's very difficult to film yourself out there. And in that video is actually a video idea that I've been meaning to do and I will do, which was about finding inspiration for paintings in your everyday life. And specifically with him, it was just looking for places to plein air paint in his neighborhood. You know, a lot of times with plein air painting, you know, you see like a lot of pretty spectacular landscapes, you know, like a lot of mine, I'll go to, you know, the beach and there'll be the water and the palm trees. And like with, you know, Michael Chamberlain, he lives in California. So a lot of times it'll be, you know, the Pacific coast with, you know, big rocks and cliffs going into the water. So it's really cool to show how you can make paintings using good composition and good fundamentals of anything. And he goes out and he does a painting just of a regular neighborhood street. I think it's really good for people to see that. It's not the subject matter that makes a good painting. If you can really wield the fundamentals, things like color, value, simplification, composition, like you can make anything a good painting. He also seems to post pretty regularly, so that's awesome. You can always kind of count on good new content from him. It seems like he's putting like a good amount of effort into his videos, and that's just so cool to see. And he seems to be growing momentum. I think his channel is growing pretty well, and it should, because I think he's delivering a lot of valuable information. All right, and the last person I want to talk about is Chelsea Lang. First off, I think that she is just off the bat like a really good painter. So being able to watch her process is really enjoyable. And she does a lot of time-lapse videos, but they're longer time-lapse videos. They're like around 20 minutes or so. So it gives you the opportunity to really see her process and see how she develops a painting, which I find really valuable. Like whenever you're watching time-lapse videos of paintings, try and take away from it the artist's like overall process and seeing like how much they're pushing the paint and pulling the paint, how they develop things, how it looks when it starts out, and how they develop that. And her process specifically, I think, is really fun to watch, because there's a lot of time-lapse painting videos out there, and they're people whose process is like they'll paint the whole nose to completion, then they'll move to the eye, do that to completion, then move to the mouth and this and that, which I don't think there's much to gain from watching that process in a time lapse. But with her, like especially her portraits, she'll really carve out her portraits with the paint over the duration of the painting. You know, she'll start out with big, simple shapes, and you'll see her dialing things in more and more. It's cool because she also narrates over top of these videos, and she'll talk about like a certain topic with painting, and I feel like she chooses really good topics to talk about, and she's also very good at communicating her thoughts on things. And her video, Becoming a Master Oil Painter, where she talks about her time studying under Daniel Keyes, is one of my favorite videos on YouTube. I just feel like the things that she talks about in that video in terms of like what's important in learning to oil paint and what things make a difference, it's just so valuable. It's a really great video. She doesn't seem to post as regularly as like Ian Roberts or Michael Chamberlain, but I hope she posts more. I feel like she's a really good painter and has a lot of good information to share. So definitely go and follow her channel. Now, if you know of like other YouTube painters that I didn't talk about here that you feel like people should know about, like let me know in the comments section. I'd like to check them out. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. If you'd like to see what I'm painting on a daily basis, you can follow me on Instagram at Forza43. I'm Chris Fornatero here telling you to go get painting.